On a very high level, we divide gamers, people who play games, into archetypes. But before I just go into it, I want to talk a bit about personas. A lot of you who are currently working outside games UX are working with personas, right? Just to give an example for those people who have not probably, who have an interest in UX but not worked a lot, do not understand the terms like personas. I'll just give a very brief example. So let's say I want to design a rice cooker, which I can control through my mobile app. I can switch it on, switch it off, control the rate at which it's cooking the rice, slow it down, increase it. I have this idea. I want to build this product. And the first thing you want to do is, okay, is there a market for this product? I might have a great idea, but I want to make sure that, yeah, there are people who want it. There's a genuine need for it. So what you start doing is trying to find people, you try to interview people, identify who might be the people who would want to, use a product like this. Probably first thing in your mind might be, okay, it might be working professionals. They work 9 to 5 p.m. Nobody's at home. And when they want to start back home from work, they want piping hot food. So that's when, they would check their app and they'll start their rice cooker, So with that hypothesis in mind, you'll go and start interviewing people. Then you get stuff like ethnographic information, demographic information. Who are these people, where they work, what their lifestyle looks like, where in their daily schedule this product will fit, the need for this product will fit. So those are called personas. We like at a very simplified level. So in games too, we use personas, but more than personas, we use archetypes. Now, what are archetypes? Archetypes are a set of pattern or behavior, which is when once identified, doesn't change. So what I'm trying to say is, once you've identified an archetype, a set of behavior somebody is exhibiting, anybody whom I classify as that archetype is 98% likely to exhibit that behavior. So first studies of archetypes was done by Richard Bartle in 1996, and he created what is called a Bartle Taxonomy of player types. So basically, he spoke to a lot of RPG and MMORPG gamers like World of Warcraft and EVE Online players, and by interviewing thousands of players, he came up with these 4 archetypes. He said most of the players who play MMORPGs or RPGs, they will fall into one of these archetype buckets. And what are these buckets? Killers. Don't worry about the name. It sounds intense, but it's not. So what is a killer archetype? A killer archetype is a kind of person who focuses on winning. They love player-to-player competition. They want to, go against other players and they want to win. So they want to see their name on the leaderboards. They want to be in the top 10, top 3. So they engage and motivate a lot by PvP competition. Second type of archetypes are achievers. Achievers are there because they like to do things. They are completionists. So a game will always have short-term goals, mid-term goal, and long-term goal for its players. So achievers are the people who like to quickly go through all the tasks, finish them as soon as possible, because they want to progress. That gives them a sense of self-esteem. So they are engaged by features like achievement. And then they're socialized, as the name suggests. These people, they don't care much about, PvP or finishing tasks, but they're there to interact with other players. They're engaged by chat. They want to be part of a clan or a group and, do things together with other players, build things together with other players. And the fourth archetype is explorer. They don't care about anything else. They are just interested in the alternate reality, the world. They want to unlock new features. They want to explore more of that world. So what Bartle mentioned was that most games have these 4 archetypes. Of course, different games will be skewed more towards different type of archetypes. Here's an example. A lot of you must be familiar with Call of Duty, right? It's a very intense PvP shooting game, first-person shooter game. So it's very likely you're going to find more of killers and achievers in this game than explorers, right? Because the game is all about player-to-player competition. You have to be on your toes all the time. So that's what we mean by archetypes. And of course, as we come into the mobile era, the research has grown even further. So this is a breakdown, more granular breakdown of archetypes by a company called GameRefinery, which is a very well-known mobile data platform. And they say, okay, they analyze the top grossing, top most engaging games, mobile games in the world. They did these interviews with sample sizes of almost 10,000 players per archetype. And they came up with this breakup. Okay, mobile games have even way more archetypes. Expressionists, King of the Hill, Networker, all these different kinds. And how do you use this information? So for example, here is an example of thinker archetype. Who is a thinker? A thinker is a person who enjoys playing games for brain teasers or other cognitive challenges to take their mind off other things. Being able to successfully solve puzzles gives thinkers a high sense of accomplishment and draws them to the world of gaming. So these are essentially the kind of people who like solving things. They are thinkers. They like puzzles. And in the radar chart, you can see that what are their motivations. They want to escape. They do it to escape reality just because they want to, need a break from their work or school homework that they're doing or anything else, just to take a mind off. They like expression. Another thing they like to do is they like customization and decoration. It appeals to them. They also like mastering different puzzles. So, but they don't care much about socializing. They don't care much about playing with others. So having this information, we know that what kind of game this archetype likes. They like games like Candy Crush. They like puzzle games. They like Sudoku. They like word games. So just by looking at this information, which we already have identified through our archetype study, I know if my game is going to be like a casual game in puzzle category and a lot of thinkers will be playing it, what are the features they like? And then I can, work with my PM, with my team to identify the right set of features which will appeal to this archetype. So that's one way to use these archetypes.